Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. It's finally a new year, and we have some new leaks. Before I get started, I just want to remind you all that these are all Destiny leaks, and they're not always true. In fact, we've seen that in the past, most of the leaks are false, but we have seen some become true. For example, Season of the Haunted was a leak back in Season of the Risen that at some point in the future we'd be getting a Callus/Leviathan themed season, and that ended up happening. Of course, these could all be coincidences or just random ass guesses, but at the end of the day, who actually gives a shit? Leaks are fun. Starting off with the first leak, this is all Season of the Seraph story bits. It is a summary of all the story information that we know. General plot. We try to rebuild Rasputin by collecting and integrating all his submind. Clovis AI will help us. Seraph and Aramis are the main enemies. Rasputin in the end dies. Clovis will try to upload his mind into the Warmind network and will betray us. Character arcs. Anna Bray will try to teach Rasputin with emotions, and with Clovis's death she will carry a Bray legacy forward. In the end, she will be very upset with Rasputin's death. Osiris. People in the city and Ikora don't trust him after Savathun's incidents, and he will try to restore it. With the help of Rasputin, he will try to find the city of Neptune, which presumably is Neomuna. Osiris himself comes to reflect on his own ego and actions, as well as come to terms with his loss of Sagira. This part's kinda cute. In one of the weeks of Season of the Seraph, we will find a robot dog and give it to him and Saint. Clovis. Like mentioned before, Clovis will betray us, but they don't think this is because of the Witness, but rather with the power of the Warmind network, he thinks that he can protect humanity on his own. Probably will be shut down by Anna in the end. Xivu and Aramis. This is actually a lot of information. They try to gain access to the Warmind network with the power of Wrathborn and Aramis' splicers. Aramis is punished by the Witness and her lieutenants are brought back to life. Okay, this part is really hard to read, but I'm gonna try my best. There is an interesting line that Xivu have legions of Hive, but she uses only Wrathborn, and Mara thinks it's because of her worm's hunger, so she can gain tribute. I have no idea what the hell that means. In the end, Aramis gains access to the Aberrant Imperative, and apparently Rasputin self-destructs to stop her. Now finally onto Rasputin. This is hella information. Rasputin is trying to learn emotions. He is successfully transferred into an exoframe that can interact with his old network, though we need to reestablish these connections by gradually collecting his subminds and reintegrating them. Rasputin regrets killing the Iron Lords, and in one point we will collect a Felwinter submind and integrate it into him. And technically this ties back into Sivo, but you know, Destiny is like weird about that. Now this part is really interesting. Rasputin thinks that being a Warmind helps Sivo Wrath, and his own existence places humanity in danger. He says that he sees no victory for us, and in the end sacrifices himself. But before he dies, he gives the coordinates for Neomuna, and the Veil, he says that is an object of immense causal power. One is linked to the Traveler. Now I'm gonna give another Reddit post called The Context Behind the End of the Season, which, spoiler, apparently involves the Traveler leaving us. Rasputin is going to be completed by splicing part of Felwinter's code into him, recovered from his remains. In addition to the submind data we are already putting into his engram. The combination of all these influences on Rasputin makes him evolve beyond his original iteration, and he develops stronger and better defined morality constraints and understanding. As a result, he basically becomes a more complete being. Rasputin, as a result of his new way of thinking, comes to realize that the weight behind the actions he's done in the past, mainly the murder of Felwinter and the Iron Lords, and comes to regret them.
Immortal, fearless, we fought to protect the survivors of a once great age. Our battle was about more than crawling back from the shadows. The Iron Lords would give humanity back its future.
He also comes to understand more clearly why he is distrusted and seen as dangerous, which conflicts with his main directive to protect humanity. The best way I would describe New Rasputin's personality would be similar to Vision from the MCU, an introspective, calm thinker that ponders on the nature of his existence, and how he can define it moving forward. Rasputin reveals that Clovis Bray originally designed him not to safeguard humanity, but to destroy the Traveler. Clovis intended Rasputin to be the machine god that replaced the Traveler, one controlled by himself, of course. The Aberrant Imperative, the protocol to attack the Traveler in case they decided to leave, was originally meant to be Rasputin's main directive. But Anna gave Rasputin the ability to think for himself by teaching him art, philosophy, history, and other things that Clovis thought meaningless. Rasputin therefore evolved beyond his original purpose, and he decided to disobey Clovis and did not attack the Traveler during the collapse. And everything about this leak has been true so far. In fact, this was all on the last cutscene we got, so I have high hopes for this leak, and I think it's probably going to be correct in the long term. Anyway, getting back into it. Clovis has a hidden agenda throughout the season, where he intends to usurp Rasputin and take over Seraph Station for himself by using the restored Rasputin's access. The Postmaker says that he's not sure if Rasputin dies at the end of the season or if he's just stopped from taking over, and it's confirmed by a commenter that Clovis lives. Initially, the plan is for Rasputin to use Seraph Station to rain fire from his warsats and obliterate the Wrathborn and House Salvation. There's a complication in this plan made by a discovery from Marasov. Turns out, Seraph has been preparing a massive ritual that only needs an overwhelming display of war to trigger it, which Rasputin is perfectly poised to do as he is a machine of war. The ritual will open a portal over Earth that Seraph will use to bring her entire armies and fleets, war moons, over Earth, just like on Tarabatl. If Xivu takes over Rasputin's warsats and uses them, the ritual triggers. If Xivu doesn't take over the warsats and Rasputin is the one that uses them, the ritual also triggers. Basically, it's a catch-22. It's decided then to keep the conflict at a stalemate and maintain the status quo over Seraph Station by attacking it over and over. Rasputin begins to question himself for his failures against the Black Fleet in both the collapse and in arrivals, and his inability to oppose Seraph without empowering her and dooming humanity in the process. He begins to wonder if his existence itself is actually a danger to humanity, like mentioned earlier, as he was built by Clovis to be a tool meant to cement his power and dominance, and his weapons are constantly sought after by those hostile to us. For example, Clovis himself, the Hive, the Vex, the Cabal, the Fallen, the Witness, etc. Basically, every single one of our enemy factions has at some point sought to use Rasputin. Since Rasputin's entire purpose is to protect us, he begins to question if his existence is necessary at all, and if he should be better off dead due to the danger and risk he poses. At the end of the season, Aramis discovers the backdoor into the Seraph Station we installed this week and disables it. Seraph Station is then finally taken over by our enemies, and the aberrant imperative protocol is activated to fire all warsats at the Traveler, which will trigger Xivu's ritual. We launch one last-ditch assault into Seraph Station, with Rasputin ready to take over the station once we reinstall the backdoor. The problem is, aberrant imperative can't be stopped once activated. So Rasputin concludes that the only way to stop it is to destroy Seraph Station, which can be done by triggering its self-destruct protocol, which Rasputin can only do when he is fully plugged in. So he resigns himself to sacrifice in order to save us from annihilation and redeem himself for his failures and actions against the Iron Lords. Anna is devastated by this as she considers Rasputin to be her child, but she understands the necessity and respects his choice. When Rasputin is plugged in, Anna is the one that activates the self-destruct. Rasputin leaves us a parting gift, which is the revelation of Neomuna's existence on Neptune, and that they have an uber-powerful paracausal artifact from the Traveler, which is called the Veil, like mentioned earlier. This is what the Witness is searching for, and why Callus is on Neomuna in Lightfall. Rasputin knew this all along, but he didn't trust the Guardians fully enough to reveal this. By the end of the season, however, he has learned to trust and consider us worthy successors to his mission, to protect humanity, as he trusts that we can defeat the Witness, which he was never able to do. By the end of the season, the Traveler ends up leaving, and is then replaced by a pyramid ship. So obviously this is an incredible ending, and I don't know if it's true, and no one really knows if it's true, except Bungie themselves, and I honestly hope it is, because this is really interesting, and I love this kind of plot twist, I guess, if you want to call it that. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and subscribe if you're new. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. Go subscribe to a smaller creator, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.